Coming up on Up at Noon, let's rank the last 5 Naughty Dog games. Spoilers, they're all great. After that, let's rank the Tetris blocks. And after that, let's rank our childhood sweethearts. Just kidding, we're not going to do that. It's Up at Noon! What's up? We did it! Yeah! Hi everybody, I'm Brian Altano. This is Marty Sleva.
Boba Fett got so excited they fell down.
How you doing? I always think about the beginning of this theme song where there's that one roll of the Wurlitzer, like. Yeah. It's a good time to be alive. I'm back in the IGN studio. Max Scoville's not here, so Marty's going to be running co-pilot with me for the next 2 weeks.
Is he still at that trial? Is he still at that trial?
Yeah.
Did you hear what he did?
Yeah, he got arrested for impersonating a cockatoo. Thank you for watching. This is Up at Noon. It's our weekly comedy variety show right here on IGN. If you don't like watching it on IGN.com, you can watch it on YouTube, PS4, Twitch, Xbox One, Roku, the Apple TV, Facebook, the Casio 4G80, and a lot of watches.
Grindr. We're live playing on Grindr right now. Is that not true?
Yep. Maybe.
Okay, might be. Who knows?
I'm not checking. Feel free to send us your questions using the hashtag #UpAtNoon on Twitter. That's all one word, hashtag #UpAtNoon. I want to give a very special thank you to our sponsor. That's Dead Island Definitive Edition, or Definitive Collection, actually. It's a bunch of Dead Island games in one box. You saw us playing it on the pre-show. We're going to play a little more later on. It's a really awesome sort of juxtaposition of a wonderful tropical vacation and just the most horrific things people can ever do to you.
You beat people who used to be human beings to death with cricket bats?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, there's a rapper. He wants to know who you voodoo. So you just sound off in the comments below on that one. So thank you to those guys for sponsoring the show. This is going to be a great episode. I'm high energy. I'm happy to be here. I'm back. It's been a really cool, interesting year so far. I was looking. I was like, we're halfway done with 2016.
Yeah, it's terrifying, dude. We're like 3-4 weeks out from E3.
We're about 60% done with our own lives.
Well, I mean, I'm more of like 80. The last couple of years have taken a toll on this body.
A lot of good stories we're going to go through today. Obviously, we're going to talk about Uncharted, figure out where that new game fits in within the pantheon of the last 5 Naughty Dog games. So let's start right there, and we'll do this very spoiler-free. Now, you and I have had different sort of drives through these franchises, right?
Yeah, much different. The Last of Us was actually my first Naughty Dog game that I played through to completion.
Which is like really kind of like you're almost spoiled. Almost to jump in on
yeah,
that.
And I also played it in a single sitting. It was like we got early copies because Colin was reviewing it. It was the night before we flew down to E3, and I literally played it in a single sitting. It was one of my favorite games of that year.
Well, it's sort of like when you start dating somebody and they're like, "Here's pictures of me in high school," and you're like, "Oh, yeah. What happened?"
Yeah, totally.
But you look gorgeous right now.
It's like dating someone, except that you're a man and you kill people with a brick. You're hanging out with like a 13-year-old girl? What's going on here?
It's a really long box quote, but if they ever re-release that game, I want to see it. So I've been playing Uncharted games since day one. So I was sort of trying to figure out what is my ranking of Uncharted and The Last of Us. So basically the last 5 Naughty Dog games. So it doesn't count Crash Bandicoot. It doesn't count
Jak and Daxter.
Jak and Daxter, Golden Abyss.
Yeah, which was Sony Bend.
Yeah, Sony Bend. So which is the obviously the PSP game or the Vita game. I'm sorry. So here's my ranking. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna say that mine is The Last of Us, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, maybe tied with 3, and then 1.
Okay.
So now 1 is like, here's the running theme here is that 1 is pretty much always at the end of people's lists.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally like, if you look back at the time and place, it was an incredible achievement, but everything 2 did just trumped it in every way imaginable.
Yeah, and I think that something interesting about these games is that you remember them differently than they actually are, right? In your head, they all look like the most beautiful Indiana Jones movies, but when you go back and play them, you're like, oh, this, video games don't age as well as film does for the most part.
And it was early in the PS3 where you were walking across a log and it was like, just make sure this is how you walk. You gotta balance. Yeah. It's like, no, just get that out of there.
The first game did have like the motion control grenades and stuff like that, which I think they fixed in the re-release. So if I was to ask you now, you've finished now 2 of these games.
No, 3. So I played through Uncharted 1 in the Nathan Drake collection.
You skipped 2 and 3.
I skipped the ones I probably should have played.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you to rank those 3.
Last of Us, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 1. To me, The Last of Us is a 10.
Yeah.
Uncharted 4 to me is somewhere like in the high 8s.
Yeah.
Uncharted 1's maybe low 8s, high 7s.
I'm totally with you on that. That sounds really good. So I went in the Podcast Beyond Facebook group, which is the Podcast Beyond is the #1 video game podcast dedicated to PlayStation that happens here at IGN. So I went in the Podcast Beyond Facebook group where there's just the most passionate, dedicated PlayStation audience. And I asked them what their rankings were. So we got a lot of really good responses. Very interesting. Here's a few of them. Muralai Komoravalu. I started with a tough name. Yeah. Muralai Komoravalu. I'm going to nail that right there. He says, I would go with The Last of Us 4, 3, 2, 1. Overall, they keep getting better and better, which is like a good problem to have, right?
Yeah,
that's
totally.
That's kind of the way you want to do things. And I was actually thinking there's not really a lot of video game studios that can say that, right? They just improve with every single game.
Yeah.
Jordan Scherer says The Last of Us, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, bad pacing otherwise, I put it above 2, Uncharted 3, and Uncharted 1. Uncharted 1 at the end, like again, seems to be the running theme here.
I'm shocked if you're going to pull one up that has Uncharted 1 at the top.
We'll see. The Last of Us, this is Ryan Bose, he says The Last of Us, U4, 3, 2, 1. Again, The Last of Us is still a masterpiece in grabbing my emotions, like playing things with its story, gameplay, and world building. As for Uncharted, they really did get better with each iteration. U4, like The Last of Us, is revolutionary. And I'm in the camp that U3 was better than U2, the band. U2 was a great indie-type story, sure, but how do you beat U3's final act in the desert, or the fact that the story finally delves into the backstory and psychological foundations of Nathan Drake? I appreciated that more than what U2 had to offer.
That was insightful critique.
Yeah. So you played Uncharted 4. There's some stuff in 3 that's basically the first time you get to see young Nathan Drake. And
sure.
It's a very special moment. There's also like that, one of the first times I've ever had this moment in a video game where you go through a cutscene and then your character doesn't move, and you're like, oh, I'm controlling this.
Oh, dang, yeah.
This looks that good.
Yeah.
Mark Griffith says Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, The Last of Us, Uncharted 1. I don't get, where's Uncharted 3? He forgot. Well, and I really like this. While The Last of Us is undoubtedly a masterpiece, I didn't really enjoy my time in that world, which I assume was the idea. Uncharted, on the other hand, especially 2, are games I can play over and over again.
Yeah, that's a really good point, too, is I played through, in that one sitting, I played through The Last of Us, and then when it came to PS4, I played through the first couple hours again. But I'm like, man, this sort of reminds me of like a movie like Schindler's List or something real. Like, this is amazing, but I don't know if I need to go through this again.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
Like, so weird story about that movie. I had a roommate in college that showed it to like 3 different girls on first dates.
Was it
like
Marlon Wayans? Showed it on first dates?
Yeah, like they would come. He'd meet a girl, and he'd be like, "Come over and watch a movie," because we were broke,
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Well, I only have 7 Blu-rays, so I'm gonna put on this one." And there were never any second dates.
Yeah, that's like the Voight comp test.
Yeah. James Rodriguez says, "I want to rank them, but it's so hard. I know for a fact that Uncharted 1 would be last, but then it gets so muddled from there. I love the complete package of Uncharted 4 more than I like The Last of Us," and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so this is a weird thing. It's like it's ranking your kids or your best friends.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments or tweet at us. Let us know your ranking. Let us know your list. I'm fascinated to know about this.
And if your kids are your best friends, you should get out more and join a club.
You think so?
Make some friends of your own generation.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Strange me, man. I mean, a lot of people, some people are like, my kids are my life. And I'm like, oh, well, that's like those dudes that wear those shirts that say, soccer is life, the rest is just details. No, details kind of outrank soccer on that one. Like living, breathing, eating.
Yeah.
Also, there's other shirts that are like, golf is life. And you're like, do you guys fight? Like, what's going on here?
Golf is life.
If golf is life, something's gone horribly awry.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man, what else we got? This is a big year for video game movies. Angry Birds is the next one to come out. We just got Ratchet and Clank a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Angry Birds is already a hit. It's not even out here yet.
Yeah.
I'm less worried about this one because recently there's been this trend where they take these really big movies based on kind of big nerd properties, I'll call them.
Yeah.
And they stagger the releases all over the world. We ran a story today on IGN about what the post-credit scene means after the new X-Men movie, and we haven't seen that movie yet.
Yeah, because it came out in London 9 years ago.
And so they have it. I remember when Force Awakens came out in the UK first, I was like, I can't go on social media for 4 days. Like people are gonna. My life is very difficult, and it actually felt really good to detach. But the Angry Birds movie is already out in some places, such as China and a bunch of other giant hubs for money when it comes to
Rovio games,
Rovio games and movies in general and stuff like that.
We our review's up. We gave it a 7.6, which is a good and a half.
Yeah, so right now the movie has a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not a great score, but for video game movies, that's a hit.
Yep, we did it, guys.
Because that's what we're working with. I think one of the highest video game movies before that was ranked was Spirits Within.
Oh God! And that literally that tanked an entire studio.
Yeah.
Like, that was the reason Sakaguchi had to leave Square.
So again, as we noticed with Batman vs Superman and a bunch of other movies, there's a major difference between how much money a movie makes and what its Rotten Tomatoes score is. So the Ratchet and Clank movie is kind of it's come and gone. It's already out of the frame. The thing about this movie is that it lost $10 million already.
That's not good.
No.
And it was so weird that this came out. This was sort of this joint property with the PS4 game that came out right alongside it. And the PS4 game was amazing. It was incredible. One of the best PS4 exclusives available. And then the movie came out and it just wasn't good. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was sort of for babies.
And you saw it, right?
Yeah, I reviewed both the game and the movie.
And you loved one and hated the other.
Yeah, I loved the game. I thought the movie was just blank.
Just blank?
Just blank. A blank. It was all vanilla. It was Greek yogurt.
Funny anecdote about that. I don't know if we've ever told this on the show, but you and I went to Las Vegas at the beginning of this year, and I had a conversation with a bartender there, who was saying, "What, Zach? Stay on topic. This is part of the story." And he was like, everything in Vegas is so expensive. Even over there, that place sells pancakes, and it's $16 for pancakes, and not even with toppings. They're blank pancakes, and I was like, "What? Why do you call like a plain pancake a blank? What? That makes no sense at all."
Yeah.
So anyway, Ratchet and Clank movie lost $10 million. They're not blaming the inability to tell a good story using a Ratchet and Clank movie. They're blaming Zootopia and The Jungle Book, Disney's 1-2 punch of talking animal movies that came out and beat the hell out of this movie about a rat and his robot boy.
Yeah, and also the reason Zootopia and The Jungle Book fared better than Ratchet and Clank is because both are considerably better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of those is based on like 100-year-old source material.
Yeah, the Zootopia was actually one of the chapters of the Bible.
Rudyard Kipling, right?
Yeah, Rudyard Kipling's Zootopia.
Huge racist. Did you guys know that? Go look that up.
Don't.
Not now. I mean later. So I mean, is this movie franchise dead?
Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dead on arrival.
Really?
Yeah. Which is a bummer because this was sort of the year. We thought this would be the year that video game movies got it right.
Right.
Like, this was going to be the year where, like, hey, we have a lot of, really rad releases. We have a lot of really exciting things coming out. And Ratchet, like, Ratchet already has that innate Pixar quality to it.
Yeah.
It has that humor that works for kids and adults. It has these amazing weapons and these gorgeous worlds and really charming characters. And it just felt like it would be so easy to translate that onto the screen, but obviously studio meddling didn't let that happen.
Was it the plot that was a problem?
It was the plot, it was the writing. I know there was some, it didn't use the script that the longtime series writer had, which, he wrote the part of the newest game, and the newest game is great, but they sort of completely reworked his movie script, and it felt like it was something by committee. Yeah, not a good committee.
It's such a shame because it's like that you would think that would translate perfectly in some way.
No, totally. It's one of those properties that should have been the one.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get more Sony properties being turned into movies. Like, I'd love to see an Uncharted movie down the line.
Yeah, I mean, Uncharted and The Last of Us have both been things that, they've been rumored for a while. David O. Russell, the director of Three Kings and Iron Huckabees, was attached to.
Seth Rogen was attached at one point.
Seth Rogen was attached to it.
Which is not what I want.
Sam Raimi was attached to The Last of Us.
Really?
Yeah, but Neil Druckmann recently was sort of like, yeah, both of those are kind of in limbo.
Yeah. I think what happens with a lot of those things is that they just kind of get pitched, and they sit there for a while, and nothing gets signed on.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to take it on. I know there was a Halo movie for a while that Peter Jackson was tied to.
Yeah, and Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9,
Yeah.
and Chappie.
Yeah, the hit Pharrell Williams song. So that being said, that's a movie that we'll probably never see another franchise of again.
Yeah.
When it comes to a video game movie, like, that's just not going to happen. But there's a bunch that are happening this year, starting next weekend or this weekend, right? With Angry Birds.
With Angry Birds,
which is let's take a look. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
that one bird looks like a banana.
This is some really interesting voice talent attached to this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually pretty excited for the idea of this being pretty cool, even though I will say honestly, the Angry Birds is one of those franchises. It's one of the major big video game franchises that just never connected with me.
Oh, totally. Which I don't know if we were just a little too old when it came out, or if we both like mobile games.
Yeah.
There's specific mobile games that we're obsessed with.
I'm definitely not. I'm not against mobile games as an idea. It's just that just gameplay wise, it just wasn't there for me.
Yeah. So Ratchet definitely didn't work. This is obviously faring better in terms of reviews.
Yeah.
We'll see. It comes out this weekend.
So yeah, Ratchet's continuing the kickoff of video game movies of 2016, but we also have Angry Nightman in Firetown.
Yeah, Angry Nightman in Firetown. This is the big one that's coming at the end of the year. Assassin's Creed, the first trailer released a little while ago, and the trailer was incredible. The trailer is gorgeous. It has this really great creative team behind it. Justin Kurzel, who's the director, directed this amazing retelling of Macbeth that also starred Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard.
Yeah.
That trio is back together in this. The trailer visually, captured the look and feel of the game perfectly.
I think that what's really interesting about that is how closely connected Michael Fassbender is to this series and his commitment to it. I think it's even like working through his production studio in some capacity. He's the kind of guy that picks good scripts for the most part.
Totally. He has very few bombs, like Prometheus, but that's sort of like, on paper, Prometheus should have worked.
Yeah. And I don't know what happened.
Yeah, the only thing that worries us a little bit about this is that they've come out and said 65% of the movie takes place out of the Animus, which is the part of the game people don't like, so...
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about that. It's gorgeous looking, and everything we've seen so far is pretty strictly connected to the source material.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's the part that people want.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they handle it.
Dead
Rising.
Yeah, Dead Rising Endgame.
Another one.
This is a picture of Dead Rising 3 because I couldn't find a large image of Dead Rising Endgame, so disregard this. This is the second Dead Rising movie. Did you know that there's already a Dead Rising movie named Watchtower?
Yeah, and don't worry, you won't have to see this one in theaters because this one's coming straight to Crackle.
Yep, I wrote that down here. I don't know what Crackle is.
Crackle is, it's basically, it's the new version of saying something's coming straight to VHS.
Gotcha.
But without all the allure of saying Netflix.
I thought Crackle was a drug from season 4 of The Wire.
The Method Man gets arrested for selling that. After that, we've got...
So I'm excited for this one.
What is this?
This is Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15. This was the Final Fantasy movie that got revealed at the big Final Fantasy 15 event the other month. This is a sort of prequel, sort of... parallel story that talks about Noctis's dad, the main character of the game's dad. We actually got to see a little, I probably can't talk too much about it, but we got to see a rough cut of some of the footage of the movie, and the action in it looks spectacular.
And this is all CG, right?
This is all CG. It's some of the best CG, honestly, like photorealistic CG I've ever seen. And the action scenes that we got to see were some of the craziest I've ever seen in a
So maybe there's hope for another Ratchet and Clank movie down the line anyway. I mean, we talked about Spirits Within earlier.
Totally. And Spirits Within, sort of tanked a studio, and then this is the same team behind Advent Children, which came out a couple years ago, which was cool. It wasn't great, but it was cool at least. So, and this has really great voice talent attached to it. This is Aaron Paul, Sean Bean, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones. So.
Does Aaron Paul play a chocobo?
Squaw! Yeah. No, I know. This is really sad.
We're not going to talk about this one again, but this is part of the story for this year. Yeah. So, well, I mean, this will be probably on Crackle soon, so... after that, we've got another Resident Evil film. But this is the last one.
It says it's the final chapter, but I don't believe that.
I never believe there's any finality with anything with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
I mean, how many times has Albert Wesker had a final chapter?
Yeah, and then he came back as like a Matrix ninja, and
and a boulder.
I don't think he ever came back as a boulder.
So this is a husband and wife duo of Mia and
Paul Anderson. Yeah. Paul W. Anderson, not to be confused with Paul Thomas Anderson, who's just wildly more talented.
Or Wes Anderson.
Or Wes Anderson, or Louis Anderson.
Okay, I would pay good money to see a Louis Anderson Resident Evil movie. There's all these zombies. Maybe we should eat them. All right, and then Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time.
So What? This was announced. There was a teaser trailer in 2014 that this movie was coming out in 2016. You know what? There hasn't been any update of this movie since 2014.
He's hiding.
He's
like the cool raccoon that he is.
He's a thievious raccoonus. I think we got one more.
We got one more.
And this is Warcraft. This is coming out in a week and a half.
So this is, I'm going to predict it right now. This is the winner of 2016 video game movies. There's no way, I don't see this one failing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I really don't.
I mean, Duncan Jones, the director behind it, did Source Code and Moon. Super talented.
ILM is doing the artwork for it.
Yeah.
And like, it's gorgeous looking.
Yeah, they cast an actual orc.
Yeah.
People were worried that they were going to cast, but they cast an orc.
They've had one in captivity for a very long time.
Yeah, they were just waiting for this.
And they're letting them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this looks great. This is like, it's going to be basically Braveheart with monsters.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that, actually.
Totally into
well,
this.
If you count Mel Gibson, Braveheart's already Braveheart with a monster.
Yes, 100%. Up there with Rudyard Kipling and famous racists in history. I think that this is going to be one of those movies where it transcends video games and is a hit for people who aren't even really connected to the franchise that well.
Yeah, I mean, people are, like, fantasy's bigger than ever now with Game of Thrones, with Lord of the Rings, and with Harry Potter and the Magicians. Like, I think people are stoked on this.
Did you ever get into Warcraft?
I played a little bit of Warcraft 3, and I played, like, 20, 30 hours of World of Warcraft.
I had a friend for a while who was really into it, and I would go over to his house, and he would just sit there and play it, and I'd be like, dude, you have an addiction.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad. And then Blizzard put up a job opening for an artist, and he passed the art test and flew out there and works there now.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And I'm like, well, all right, well, that's addiction pays off, I guess.
Yeah, if you go to bars enough and just drink enough, you can become a bartender.
That's actually probably really true, right?
That's how I got my job at a bar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, movies are a good thing to see with your friends. I was a friend to Max Scoville once, and then I left. And in the day I was gone, a cockroach appeared on my desk, which is revolting because I'm a very clean, fussy guy. I know I look like a disgusting pizza monster, but I'm actually organized and meticulous. A cockroach showed up on my desk, and being the turd that he is, he kept it. So let's take a look at what happened with the Brian Jr. cockroach that Max Scoville kept as a pet.
This is my pet cockroach, Brian Jr., who I found. Look at him, he's in there. Mm-hmm. He's alive.
The day Brian left for
See, he's doing
Jersey,
stuff. He's creeping
we
around.
found Brian Jr.
You know what? I learned what cockroach poop looked like this morning because Brian Jr. did some bathroom stuff inside his enclosure.
What is wrong with us? God, if you thought that was dumb, here's Justin Davis.
Great. Thank you very much.
Hi, Justin. Thanks for coming on Up at Noon. So, quick backstory here. You and I did Game Scoop yesterday, which you should go listen to because it's awesome, or watch, whatever you do. And you jokingly said, one day I want to rank the top 7 Tetris blocks.
Yeah.
And you were like, that's so stupid, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you want to do it tomorrow on Up at Noon?
Max is gone. Please come help. No, this is my favorite part about this is that it's an extension of the IGN cinematic universe where most people, this is live, so people are watching this right now, but that Game Scoop's not up yet.
Oh, really?
Oh!
I mean, the audio's
dang.
up, but
The
no one's
audio's
watched
up.
the video yet. So if someone's watching this now, then they're going to get this in about 4 or 5 hours.
So this is like watching the Marvel movies out of order.
Yeah, I like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason we started talking about this is because somebody made the unmitigated gall of an announcement to say that they're making a Tetris trilogy of movies.
Yeah.
Literally the worst video game to
Well,
make a
and
movie on.
it's a trilogy of Chinese-funded movies.
Yep.
And they're sci-fi thrillers.
Yeah, sure. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so that got us thinking.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
All right.
Let's
All right.
rank the top 7 Tetris blocks.
I got some thoughts on this.
Okay, here we go.
Worst Tetris block, number 7, is the Z. Because,
Z.
Because it's a backwards S, which is the worst kind of S.
What are you talking about? What? But that's what Bizarro Superman has on his chest.
Can we take a look at the full screen right here? So that's the one in the, where is that? The lower right.
Yeah.
The red
The
one.
red one.
Yeah.
You hate that block.
I don't like it.
A lot of people don't like the square because it's like when you have all these things going on down there, that square comes down and messes everything up.
You know what? I know this is your show. If you want to do your own top 7 Tetris blocks, that's fine. But you brought me on, and this is what we're doing.
So number 7.
That Z has got to go.
Number 7, the Z. Get out of here.
Number 6, the S.
The S.
So even though it's front ways, it's still a crappy block. You can't fit it into places. You rotate it, and it's hard to visualize which way it's going to go. It's always mucking things up.
Well, it's always it's like it always has an extra thing that you need to worry about. You know, it's like a
sticking out at weird angles.
It's like fitting 5 people in a car.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a pain in the ass. I don't like it either. We should get those shapes out of there. All right, number 5.
Number 5 is the is it a T? It's the 3. If you can pop back into the, how do we pop back into here? Can we pop back? I don't know how this show works.
So the T,
the purple one, the purple T.
We used to say this looked like a phallus.
Yeah, it looks like a man laying down with his pangas.
I will say it's very, very satisfying to, if you have a spot for that to fit perfectly, it feels very good. It's pleasing.
We still talking about that pangas?
All right, what was that?
What are we doing here?
Now we're number 4.
That was number 5. Number 5 was purple.
Okay, number 5 was purple. Number 4?
Number 4 is the backwards L.
What?
That's the blue one? Dark blue?
Yeah. That's why it's a problem, is because you don't know. It's really hard. So yeah, I'm gonna give you some real talk about some truth about Justin right now.
Okay.
And that's I have a really terrible sense of direction and space, and like how if you flip something backwards or inside out, I can't visualize what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Z and the S and the L and the backwards L trip me up, because I don't know until I flip them which one. Like, it's hard for me to tell which one of those is the L.
Didn't you play like 100 hours of The Witness?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
All right, what's the number 2?
No,
3. That was number 3 touchdowns. I can't keep up with this terrible list.
Number 3 is the L.
Okay, the L, the regular L.
I like the L and I like the backwards L. So there's 7 blocks, all right?
Okay.
So let's just break this down. And we're ranking them worst to best, but there's 3 that I put in the bad pile, and then 4 that I put in the good pile.
Okay.
So the L and the backwards L are
So it's
good.
like Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So I just want to say, because when you're going 7 to number 1, like, there's a breaking point between number 5 and 4.
Sure.
Like, that's the difference between the bad blocks and the good blocks.
Yeah.
So the L, it's very, you can sort of hang them over the lip of the Tetris thing.
That's a very satisfying move, by the way.
It's good. It feels good. But you're always like, you can never quite get that Tetris. And so it's not, I just can't, that's why they're not higher on the list. And here's where I'm going to lose people, I think. I feel like most people have been with me up till now.
I think they know what's coming.
But for me, this is not a surprise. Right?
There's literally only 2 blocks left.
Number 2 Tetris block is the square.
The square?
Yeah.
Well, so how do you justify this? Because the square is the square is one of the only things that you can do absolutely nothing with in any way.
I love that square. It's a perfect shape. It's very compact.
Is that why you like it? Because it's symmetrical?
Yeah, it knows its place. It's symmetrical. It doesn't rotate. You know what you're getting with the square. You got that square.
But the pangus is symmetrical.
What?
The phallus.
It's literally not symmetrical.
Yes, it is.
Only in 2 directions, though, not top and bottom.
Oh, what? You have a different definition of symmetry.
Frostbite in the YouTube comments says Tetris killed my parents.
That's actually the plot of Tetris the movie 2.
Yeah, that's the sequel.
Tetris the movie 1 is about getting parents. And 2, they're gone.
And it's rough because his parents were his best friends.
Okay, so I'm going to butt heads with you on this one a little bit, because I feel like when you have a Tetris game going, and there's all sorts of wacky activity going on down there, squares and rectangles and stuff like that.
You think the square is ruining
The square comes in, and sometimes there's just nowhere it can go. Whereas every other block, you can at least fit 1 pixel into something.
But here's what I'm saying about this. It's not the square's fault. It's all these other crappy blocks. It's because you've had to deal with the Z and the S's and that crappy T. That's what makes problems for the square.
So it's
the square is not the one with the problems. It's everything else.
It's the Rorschach quote from Watchmen.
But like, okay, here's
You're not in here. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the square. Think about it this way. Okay. Think about it this way. If you had only squares, you're in good shape. Everything's awesome.
That's not a game.
But if you have only S's and T's and S's, T's, and Z's, you're in big trouble.
But wait.
Then you got a Polish last name.
If you play Tetris with only squares and you deviated from the grid, that'd be the only way to make that game hard.
I'm just saying it's perfect.
It is a perfect shape. It is a perfect shape. I love
anyway,
squares.
surprising no one, the number 1 Tetris shape.
The number 1 Tetris shape is
the straight line.
A straight line.
It's the only one to make a Tetris with.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a little boring. It's a little vanilla. But the name of the game is Tetris. That's how you score the points. That's how you clear the 4 lines at a time. And that's the only way to get it done.
Because a good Tetris player will work with all the rest of this garbage
Yeah.
to create one area where waiting for that line. And sometimes you wait for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know?
Counterpoint, Jordman in the YouTube comments says, I like the real nice Pangus. Best block. Opinions.
You know what? Get your own show.
Yeah, get your own show, Jordan. Top 7 Panguses starring Jordan.
Liberal Gentleman says Darren Aronofsky should direct the Tetris film.
I'm totally down with that.
That's actually.
All right, so that's the top 7 Tetris blocks.
Can I go?
Yeah, you can leave. Starring Justin Davis. Great work on Game of Thrones this week, killing that girl.
Thank you. I almost never stab anybody in the neck. Just so please don't be afraid.
All right, stay tuned. Next week,
Bye.
we're going to rank the diseases in Dr. Mario. Speaking of diseases, there's all sorts of horrible things going on in Dead Island Definitive Edition. So Max Scoville and I got in a truck and drove over a bunch of those dirty zombie boys. Let's see how many we can kill. Yo, what's up, boys and girls? It's me, Brian Altano, and this is Max Scoville.
I am going to drive this truck full of juice.
That's right. We're playing Dead Island Definitive Edition
otherwise
on PS4.
known as Juice Truck Adventure.
That was the original title
it's a
for this
truck
game.
full of juice.
All our friends are real thirsty, and we're going to get in this truck, and we're going to drive it back across this terrible nightmare island full of zombie monsters, and give them juice to make them feel better about how all their parents and stuff are dead.
Because remember, if you're sad, have some juice. So, am I on a time limit, or am I just going on the juice adventure?
We're going to see how many bad guys we can run down with this cool car.
Ah, yes, the villains of the island.
Ooh, look at this. This is nice.
This is lovely. Until I meet some scary boys.
So far, it's been pretty clear. Open road, no problem. Yep.
I like how there's cop cars on this resort.
Yeah,
Sick.
honestly, this just looks like a regular...
This is a perfectly normal island, aside from the fact that I just drove into a tree.
Are you supposed to go this way?
No. There's no rules in the game. It'll kill me if I'm being bad. Uh-oh. How do I get the juice back to my friends?
You learn how to drive.
Tell me what to do. Oops, I'm lost. Time to get the juice back on the road. Everyone get the juice out and look at the map.
Okay, so far we've killed 0 zombies.
Where are they? Where are these nasty boys? Hey, I got an achievement for... Oh, there they are.
1.
Oh, boy.
I
Uh-oh.
think there's another one right behind you.
I think they're all trying to get
drive backwards.
their truck full of juice going the other direction.
Ah!
That's a noise.
2. I think you're going the wrong way.
I know. I'm just trying to flip around. Where's my friends? They need juice.
That one didn't count. It was already dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Hauling ass and juice.
Hall & Oates.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
This is, this
Might
is bad.
spill some juice. Wow. Amazingly enough, I'm okay.
We almost had a Jurassic Park scenario there.
Yeah. Remember that scene where they had that truck full of juice on their dinosaur island? Oh, sweet. That's where I am. Where's the juice?
Uh-oh. 3. 4.
Oh, I just went full circle. Okay. I just got there. All right. Stop that.
Oh, you missed him.
Damn it. All right, come on. Oh, my.
Man, you can't drive. I'm never getting in a car with you.
Is my radio on?
5.
Ooh, tiki time.
Here we go. 6. 7,
Wow.
I think.
That was like 8.
8.
Is that a driveway?
9. Oh, right through here. Perfect.
I wouldn't say that was perfect.
10.
Oh,
Oh, you missed 11.
come on.
I don't know if you can drive up there, dude. No, maybe you can.
This is a truck, Brian. It'll go over anything but patio furniture.
What are you driving on?
Is he in the car with me? Please stop. Please get off the hood. Leave me alone. I'm just trying to deliver juice to my friends. This is bad.
This is very bad. Let's see what happens. Well, anyway, I'm Brian and this is Max. Things are very bad for us right now.
Juice is everywhere. There's zombies. No! The juice is spilling all over my
the juice
face.
is loose.
All right. I lost $9 in that juice truck.
They started you right in front of all of them. There's our truck. Anyway, we did it.
Don't ever mess with the man's juice.
That was
We're back.
That was a really topical O.J. Simpson reference by saying
that's
the
what we
juice
try
is
to
loose.
do.
Yeah.
Max has a topical OJ disease where he has to make a reference once
He
a
suffered
week.
a head injury in 1993.
Did I tell you about the fake disease I made up?
No.
It's called Comic Sans disease. And it's where no one takes you seriously no matter what you say.
Guys, there's a fire in the building and everyone's just laughing at you.
Let's head on over to Twitter. We're using the hashtag #UpAtNoon, that's UPatNoon, to check in with what the audience is saying. A lot of people really like that Brian Jr. segment.
That was good. That was really emotional. Jared Robertson said that the Brian Jr. montage is already doing better on Rotten Tomatoes than Ratchet and Clank. So congrats, Zach, on directing that.
Yeah, great work, Zach.
Yeah,
it was
really incredible.
it was very weird to be out of the office for 2 weeks and come back and have my producer be like, "Hey, we're going to shoot an art film about a cockroach."
Yeah.
Very weird job.
It was
There
weird.
is.
I didn't like the fact that he kept bringing it on. It was there it is. Yeah, incredible.
Do you know, Zach? My thumbs up ratio has like increased by 80% since we've been friends. No, I'm a lover of animals and women and all things on Earth that are alive. Not kids so much.
What about murderers?
No, they can die. But we shot that video about the cockroach and we let him free. And I'm like, cool, can I kill him now? It's disgusting. It's gross that you kept it. That jar you couldn't see was full of little cockroach turds that cockroach was eating so that he could re-poop back out and re-eat. Because cockroaches are absolutely disgusting.
Every day, Goldfarb would walk by and be like, "Oh, it's dead now." And I'm like, "No, it won't die. They survived Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna totally live in that gross little zoo."
Yeah, it's just horrible. One of the worst things in the world.
Yeah. William Holbert, a friend of our shows, says the show is very educational. I never knew what a pangus was until now.
Yeah, pangus. So I figured out I come up with a new word every couple of months. Last year I said dak. The year before I said schwanz.
Oh, so you come up with a new word for male genitalia
Yeah,
every couple
so we're
months.
coming up on the 3-year anniversary of schwanz. When we hit 2 more years, I'll do a top 5 things you can call the male genitalia.
Genatila's 2017.
Or
I really like schwanz.
as they call it in Italy, the genitella.
No, that sounds like something with a rich, creamy hazelnut sauce.
That might be more disgusting than watching that cockroach eat its own turds. Oh, do we have anything else? Anybody else is saying anything nice about the horrible stuff that
we go into Slack?
we do?
Jared Robinson also said that when Max was arrested, did the police find a random Boba Fett figure on him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like when you start reading about like a Bay Area serial killer whose calling cards have to leave, like, oh, it's the Boba Fett that shot the rocket out before the kid shot his eye out.
Yep.
It's like, oh God, Max is finally broken.
Max is the kind of dude that if he went to jail, they'd be like, you have one phone call, and he'd be like, Boba Fett!
Yeah.
And then he'd be in jail forever.
Tobin Kastner says that Brian Jr. is making his way overland to IGN HQ, homeward bound, 7 confirmed.
That's the thing. That stupid cockroach lived, and I was drinking an iced coffee in that shoot, and I poured a little on him at the end, and he was like,
Yeah, now he just got faster.
he says, I got all this energy. He probably ate a rat.
He ate a rat. Rats are so much bigger.
I hate those things.
Ryan Marshall says Marty has a nice face. Thanks, Ryan.
Oh, we're just reading compliments now?
Zach literally fed this to me in the thing.
Oh,
But it has 0
Every lady
rating.
on Earth says, Brian, I love you, make babbies with me.
But he tweeted that, and then Zach also put in 0 retweets, 0 likes.
That's what happens when you copy a tweet.
Yep. Social engagement. Anyway, DC Comics is going through something very interesting right now. Their comics are really awesome. Their movies are kind of disastrous, but they're bringing in people to turn things around. On top of that, they have completely relaunched and revamped their logo, which is kind of interesting because I feel like we've seen the same Marvel logo for quite a while now.
Yeah, seriously.
With different degrees of change, tiny little things. We went through a couple weeks ago the history of Spider-Man logos on the show,
Yeah.
and it was actually really fascinating to see how much that's changed over the years. This is DC's old logo. It looks kind of like the DQ Dairy Queen logo.
We can get treats of pizza?
Yeah, which is pretty interesting. But this is their brand new one, so let's take a look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think I like this.
What's going on at the top of that C? What's wrong with it? It's broken.
Yeah, it's got some. They cut some triangles out to save some money on ink. It's an interesting logo. It's pretty cool. I'm not totally crazy about it. I do like the circle with the box.
I'm trying to figure out if the white space is has a secret message in it, but it
so
doesn't.
let's kind of see where that one sits with their history. Now, this is really fascinating. Let's take a look.
Oh, wow.
These are the last 10 DC logos before this one. Going through history, now this is all the way back to like comic book code.
Yeah.
DC Comics goes back for like a century, so it's really nuts.
This is insane.
At one point, they even had Superman there. They wrote Superman National Comics above it.
Yeah, that seems...
Then we have that really funky kind of neon orange yellow one. Then they moved more into that block letter one.
Yeah,
my favorite. I don't know
the bottom middle.
Bottom middle.
Yeah,
exactly.
and that's the one I associate with my childhood. Like when I read a ton of DC, when I was reading like Nightfall and The Death of Superman, like that was the logo that sticks out to me.
So I was going to ask you because I think a lot of people like the Instagram logo just changed, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are pissed off at it because I know personally I love Instagram. You should follow me there. Plug.
You have like 20 pictures in 4 years.
Yeah, and I have a lot of followers. So obviously, less is more, baby. So I have a hard time finding that logo on my phone now because I don't know what to look for anymore.
Same with Uber for me.
Yeah, same with Uber, right? These are obviously the first worldiest of problems. Yes. But the DC logo to me was always this one right here, with the star and the 2 stars in the middle, or the 4 stars are on the outside, the DC on the side. Like let's take a look again. This just meant awesome to me. There's something like heroic. It's like powerful, iconic. It screams superhero to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the new one, not really so much. And let's take a look at another one that they almost used for a little while right here, which you may remember if you were a hero of the skateboard store in your mall and smoking cool stoves behind the police station. Couldn't
wait,
find
let's look at that again. Can we look at that again? To me, I don't know if this is a bad Rorschach test. To me, it looks like a sheriff is making love to a woman.
Yeah, and somebody threw in a ninja star to stop it.
Oh no, that was the sheriff badge. That's why he was a sheriff. That's terrible.
A sheriff's badge?
A sheriff's badge.
Okay, I've heard that. I've heard that referred to as something else. Have you? Don't look that up. Please don't look that up. Anyway, those are the DC logos. What's your favorite one?
Bottom middle.
Bottom middle. It's the right answer. What else is going on in the world?
Oh my God.
Are you okay? You all right?
Yeah, I'm
How are
good.
you?
On YouTube, a Both says it looks like the logo for a bad high school basketball team.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
actually, I think my least favorite one was the one that looked like somebody was peeling a sticker off.
Yeah,
it's very odd. Are you a candy man?
Like the man who haunts the tenements of Cabrini Green and comes out of mirrors?
If I say your name enough, will you show up and kill me?
I mean, if you say my name in a bar 3 times, I'll probably end up there.
You won't answer because you've been there long enough.
No.
So I love candy. I love peanut butter. I love chocolate. So this weird interracial marriage of peanut butter and chocolate has been going on for decades. It's one of my favorite things in the world. And guess what? She's pregnant.
What?
What a horrible way to describe candy. There are new Reese's peanut butter cups, and they have Reese's Pieces inside them, which is nuts. There's this pizzeria in Brooklyn like last year that made a pizza that had smaller pizza slices on it, and I'm like, this is too far. I don't like this. This is gross.
I don't like this at all. This is disgusting. This is like, it'd be like if you fed a chicken pieces of chicken.
Yeah, or like a turducken.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So you're calling this cannibalism?
I mean, cannibalism. Bye, guys. I'll see you next week.
So I'm asking you, is there any other candy you would have that's kind of like this? That's a bigger version with smaller versions inside?
What if there was a big Twix with a couple little Twixes inside? And it was almost like how sometimes if you kill a spider, a bunch of baby spiders come out.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, Australia.
What about a Twizzler that had 80 little Twizzlers inside it that was just like chewing on an arm?
Just trying to gnaw your way through 127 hours.
People watch the show sometimes and they're like, Tell me which part has the video game news. Not a lot. I mean, look, this is the end of the week. We get to talk about weird stuff like this. Would you eat this candy? Let us know. Use the hashtag up at noon. I would. You know why? Because I don't care about my body. I'm married. I don't need to care about any of that anymore. I can just let it get fat to a certain degree.
Oh man, I went to this Reese's website. I shouldn't have gone there. It's weird.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it has like Ali Moss art.
Oh yeah, of like it's a Reese's peanut butter cup dreaming of things inside it.
Parents having sex, I think.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Yeah.
Very gross.
Oedipus complex. The edible complex.
A great place you can eat candy is the movies. And a big movie's coming out next year that I'm more excited about than anything in the world, including someday being a father. And that's Star Wars Episode 8. A leaked, very fake, most likely very fake thing happened this week where Star Wars Celebration's coming up next month in London, or the month after, right?
Oh, it's July.
July, yeah, so it's very far away. And there's a leaked video saying that the new Star Wars subtitle is Star Wars Fall of the Resistance.
Now, before, I know Alexio's probably screaming because he doesn't want to know what the movie's called. Also, by the way, hey, spoilers. You're going to get spoiled on what the movie's called.
That's Alexio. He works in our control room, and he's like paranoid about spoilers to the point where he doesn't even want us mentioning a fake thing. Like, the name of the movie is something you're going to find out.
Yeah. So, there was a video of a poster. It said, Fall of the Resistance. We're 99.9% sure it's fake.
There's like a weird crowd noise in the background.
Yeah.
It's very dumb. It's also like you can get that font for free, so like you can make it say like, Fart of the Rancor.
Yeah, also the name's a little, Fart of the Rancor. The name's a little on the nose.
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, and it's all about that fat man who cried. What the hell's that?
He's right here. There he is.
Oh, there's
this is by the way, all of this is my ideal Star Wars movie. You get the Rancor Keeper shirtless, just tits in the wind on Rey's speeder. Just flapping, just big mams, just ba 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 ba.
That's my favorite Kansas song.
So, Fall of the Resistance, cool title, a little on the nose, probably not real. I don't think so. So let's actually take a look at some of the Star Wars movies before this, and let's talk about the best and the worst ones.
Okay.
So let's go through start to finish. You know, from Episode 1 to Episode 7, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you, what is the best one?
Oh, the best one.
Yeah. And again, don't make it something that you're used to hearing the most amount of time, so it's comforting to you.
I think I would have to go with Return of the Jedi, or oddly enough, The Phantom Menace.
You like that one?
I like that title. I think it has an air of mystery about it, to where it's like, and it is what the movie is about. Is like, what is this disturbance in the Force? Like, we don't know where it's coming from. The Sith aren't supposed to exist anymore. I really dig that one. What about you?
I actually really like A New Hope as a title, even though it's of the 3 original trilogy movies, it's probably my least favorite. I mean, I love them all.
Sure.
But I think A New Hope's just really cool. It's inspiring, it's optimistic. It implies that something has gone horribly awry in the past.
Yeah, it works better. It's one of the few things in life that work better because of the prequels. Yeah. Like, when it's just A New Hope, it's like, well, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, what went wrong before this? Like, why is there a New Hope necessary? Why do you keep laughing?
Because Zach just put a note in the script that said, this is a good breakout, but maybe cut the part that Brian says tits in the wind, which now we have to do twice. Which is the worst Star Wars title?
Attack of the Clones.
It's hands down Attack of the
Yeah,
Clones.
because the worst thing...
Because it sounds like an iOS game.
Yeah, and also the clones are very dumb and don't really matter and stop existing.
Yeah, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, I like the word attack. Attack of the Clones sounds like something like a really cool 1950s sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And that's not really what we got.
Yeah.
We got like a weird 2000s green screen movie.
Yeah, totally.
About a guy that tries to make out with a girl in a field full of like fat wildebeests.
Yeah, that's really dumb. I like Revenge of the Sith in terms of its parallel to, obviously, Return of the Jedi. It was originally called Revenge of the Jedi. And George Lucas said, no, Jedis don't have revenge.
Yep.
So I think calling it Revenge of the Sith is great.
Okay, so let's call it right now definitively the worst Star Wars movie title is Attack of the Clones.
Is Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying that's the worst Star Wars movie, although, guess what?
It is. Yeah, it totally is.
But I think that's the worst title. Let us know what you think. Use the hashtag up at noon. Leave a comment below. However you want to communicate with us weird-looking dudes right here.
Clay Cuban says, do your robot voice.
Do my robot voice. I am here to tell you all about putting my hand on your leg until you smile at my face. Let's do a big wet kiss with our lips all over each other's bodies. Thank you for watching Up Afternoon. Available on demand and Crackle, the #4 video rental service on PS5. There's my dumb voice. I don't get to do that one at home. My wife told me to stop doing that.
That's really good.
It's horrific.
Kala Malik on Twitter says Return of the Jedi all the way for best name. William Holbert says Empire Strikes Back. Jared Robertson says the best DC logo is, and then he just put up the Marvel logo.
Oh, fanboys. We love them. So, Kojima Productions. Kojima's doing something really awesome right now. He's on a world tour looking for a new engine that will eventually be the vessel to which his new game lives.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
Super crazy because he's a dude who sort of his entire career has been based on building tech from the ground up with stuff like Fox Engine, and obviously that's Phantom Pain took so long to finally come out, but it was worth it because you look at it and it's one of the most gorgeous games ever made. But I'm really excited that with his new studio, which is a smaller studio that is working from the ground up, that instead of being like, hey, we're going to take 4 years to build technology that might be out of date by the time we start working on a game. He's just like, no, I'm going to find a wife.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and you're single, right? Like for you to find somebody you want to spend a few years with, it's kind of a daunting, scary thing, right?
It's terrifying. Yeah.
And Kojima is very single when it comes to video games, and he needs to shack up with a good engine for a couple of years.
Are you saying should I try to build a woman? Like in that film about the boy who builds a robot that I think he makes love to?
You know what? I don't think you should, but because of how little I think you know about robotics, I would love to meet your terrible robot wife. Marty Sleeva, will you please stop kissing my neck? We went on Twitter. There was a brand new, so we saw the Kojima Productions logo a couple months back. It's this awesome, what is it?
It was like a Roman gladiator's helmet with a skeleton inside of it.
Yeah.
But it seemed kind of futuristic.
Yeah, with some space stuff. It's right there.
Yeah.
So you can guess yourself what you think it is.
Yeah.
Kind of astronaut vibes a little bit because there's that sort of thing that cuts off at his head. We went on Twitter and we asked you what you think this new logo means because we actually got some really cool concept art for it. Let's take a look. Norvik Javier says he thinks this game's going to be a Future Knights stealth action game.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
I like this guy. Looks like one of the men at the moon landing.
Yeah, can we take a look at this again? This is so I don't know what kind of stealth you can do in this suit.
No, it seems like a guy who would huff and puff a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Over here, Razor says it looks like 7 years of waiting and 3 more years after the reveal.
No, it's gonna come. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Razor doesn't really have a lot of optimism. He even looks like kind of sad in that picture. Victor Razor. You're going to be in like the 14th Iron Man movie as a villain.
Yeah, or you are a founding member of NWO.
Cameron Duncan says, it will be called Better Gear Solid. You'll travel through space as a skeleton man in a suit that brings you back to life.
I like that. I also like how skeleton is spelled.
He spelled that wrong, right?
Yeah.
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
Marty, I will be your skeleton wife and marry you forever.
I think where I would go awry with my robot wife is that I would take her to a bar and buy her a shot, and then it turns out alcohol and electronics don't mix, and she'd start sparking, and she'd pass away.
That would be hilarious.
She would pass away.
You'd get killed from electrical disease. I really like Better Gear Solid, by the way. He'd get sued so hard for that. John Rebeladido says, one man's quest to destroy pachinko machines everywhere and the evil tyrants who keep making them. Yeah, this is an obvious dig at Konami.
What if the entire game was just like the most unsubtle metaphor for you trying to take down a corporation that wronged you in the past? And
I think that's a great idea. I also think that would be really salty.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of those things where it's like I want to meet your new girlfriend. Yeah. I don't want to just be like, let's talk smack about your old one.
Yeah.
You know.
Her name is 110111.
The other one was a 0000000 loser.
Yeah, I have a type.
And finally, James O'Sullivan says, Black Knight 2 where Martin Lawrence goes to the future this time. Yes!
I can totally get behind that.
Time machines work both ways.
Yeah. I feel like Martin Lawrence is at the same level of fame as Norman Reedus.
What?
Was that wrong? Was that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, one of them's on a hit show.
Yeah.
That's one of the most popular shows on TV. One of them isn't.
But one of them has a catchphrase, damn Gina.
That was 25 years ago.
Damn Gina.
That was weird. They kicked off the new Kanye album with the reference. To
Right? Yeah. The Life of Pablo in title now.
All right, well, I threw some really, really dumb stories at the end of this list because we've got to go through them real quick and it's be fun. There's a Burger King in Finland that has a sauna in it.
That's gross.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Don't do that.
That's my hot take. That's nasty.
That is nasty. Also, going to any Burger King, everyone's just sweating in there.
Yeah.
Like every Burger King is a sauna.
Also, speaking of rap, Humpty Dumpty, who's part of the Humpty Dance, he put out that song way back in the day, the group called Digital Underground. He had a lyric that said he once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. And now he can have sex in a sauna.
My favorite part of this was Zach under his breath saying, let's just see how this plays out. Probably not well.
I think sometimes Zach hears me revving up the chainsaw and he's like, is he going to cut his leg, the house, or a tree?
Yeah, don't go to Finland. I associate with being like a healthy country, like a lot of like muscular men and fit women and handsome children.
Did you say thin women?
Fit women.
Fit women.
Fit women.
Not at Burger King.
Fit.
Burger King has a thing. I walked by a Burger King the other day. They have a deal that for $4 you get
hepatitis.
You get a Whopper, French fries, chicken nuggets, a soda, a cookie, a gun, a notepad, a pen, a list of people to call to help you, and a box of tissues to cry into.
Yeah. Cry into the box?
Yeah, and then a bathtub to fall asleep in. $4. It's a great deal. So anyway, not everything has to be so many things.
Yeah, I know, right?
Some things can just be one thing. Sometimes a Burger King can just be a Burger King. Oh man, I'm running late. Crap, I really have to go to the sauna. Hey, can you guys put a sauna in the Burger King?
Can I get my schwitz on inside the Burger King?
Can I sweat out all this hot meat?
That sounds so gross.
Marty, we've been making fun of you for the entire episode, but you're single.
What? You can't make fun of someone for being single.
Watch me. Single men wash their bed sheets 4 times a year in a new study. 4 times, which goes hand in hand, or disease and disease, with the story we ran a couple months back about how single men have disgusting ass beards that they are filled with germs and diseases because they don't know how to clean them.
I clean them.
You're a single man with a beard.
Yes.
Which means you're already 50% filthy. How often do you clean your bed sheets?
Every other week.
I don't believe that at all.
Absolutely. There's a lot of I have a lot of feminine callers.
How
in my
often
life.
do you clean these howdy doody ass clothes you wear to work?
Every other week.
What?
Yeah.
Every other week.
Yeah, I do laundry every other weekend.
You clean your sheets. How many times is that a year?
28 something. I don't know how many weeks are in a year.
56?
54.
How do we not know this?
52 weeks in a year.
52 weeks in a year. What's that? What if you cut that in half? 26? You clean your sheets 26 times a year.
That seems like an overestimate.
Again, I've been saying this for years. I did not go to math school. Okay? Neither did Marty.
No, I do. I keep my things clean.
Like to keep
things
clean.
Because that keeps the ladies coming and it keeps the nightmares away.
I feel really bad for single women in this world. They have to date dudes with diseased beards and beds that haven't been cleaned more than 4 times a year.
You know what? It's fine. A lot of people think I'm charming.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's the show. That's all the stories I put in there. We can talk to the audience real quick.
No, we only have a minute left.
We only
have a minute left?
Yeah, wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Anyway.
John Constantine says, have it your way in a sauna. Thank you, Hellblazer.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching Up at Noon. I have such a good time doing this show. Yeah. Like, honestly, a real talk on a personal level. Crap's been really hard for me, and it's been a dangerous, horrible world out there. And when I get to come in here and do dumb stuff with my friends, it's the time of my life. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting us do this. I'm Brian Altano. That's Marty Sleva. Stay right here, because coming up next, IGN Plays Live. We'll be back tomorrow. I should have read that first.
Don't stay right here for 24 hours.
Don't move for a full day. Just stay still. Order food on your phone. Don't clean your bed sheets. Wipe some cheese in your beard. Get real hungry. Why are we wrapping up so fast that there's nothing even after this?
What are we going to be playing?
We gotta go. We gotta show that logo for the rest of the day.
Well, tomorrow we're going to be playing Fallout 4's new DLC, Far Harbor.
Yeah, Fart Harbor. It's about a dude that does a big toot in the sea.
My favorite Steinbeck novel. Big dudes toot in the sea.
Yep. Oh man. It's been a good show.
Yeah,
It
Zach
really
does
has.
this. What does this mean? Is this a dance?
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and be sure to see the Rancor Keeper movie in 2019. Tits in the Wind. Why is it making a police car noise? No one knows.